Let's be honest. Many women today walk around with inflated egos. And while some might label this perspective as toxic, the reality is more complex. Why do so many women believe they're the prize without putting in real effort? Simple. Too many men pedestalize them just for existing. When men treat women like queens for doing nothing more than looking pretty, it creates an unrealistic sense of superiority. Think about it. If you were praised daily for just being alive, wouldn't your ego explode? That's exactly what's happening. Constant validation from desperate men creates an unhealthy dynamic. Women start to believe they're irreplaceable, while men diminish their own value in the process. Women are born with a certain level of social worth, largely due to their appearance. Meanwhile, men are expected to build their value through hard work, discipline, and purpose. This contrast has caused a shift where many women subconsciously view men as beneath them. To fix this, men need to change their approach. Let's break it down with some crucial rules to reset the balance and keep a woman's ego in check. 1. Surpass her in every aspect. If you want to check a woman's ego, the first and most effective strategy is simple: become better. Not in a superficial, bragging kind of way, but by building a life so strong, so focused, and so disciplined that she has no choice but to respect you. Today, many women are used to being admired just for their looks. Social media, dating apps, and thirsty men have inflated their egos to a level where they feel untouchable. But what happens when she meets a man who is operating on an entirely different level? You see, women are biologically wired to be attracted to high status men. This doesn't mean you need to be a millionaire, but it does mean you should be constantly working on your physique, your finances, your mindset, and your future. When you are on your grind, achieving real things, you naturally become more attractive. But more importantly, you shift the power dynamic. She's no longer the prize, you are. This forces her to reevaluate her behavior around you. Instead of acting entitled, she becomes more conscious of what she brings to the table. And that's the goal. You're not doing this out of spite. You're setting the standard. When you surpass her in discipline, purpose, and drive, her ego takes a hit and respect starts to build. This isn't about controlling her, it's about leading by example and making it clear that you're not another guy trying to win her over. You're someone she's lucky to have access to. 2. Don't seek her approval. One of the most common mistakes men make today is constantly looking for validation from women. Whether it's fishing for compliments, asking if she likes your haircut, or needing her reassurance in every little decision, you're handing her control. When you seek her approval, you're essentially placing her above you, and that automatically boosts her ego while diminishing your value. A truly masculine man doesn't ask for approval, he moves with certainty. He knows what he's about, what he wants, and where he's going. He doesn't need to ask if she approves of his path because he's already confident in his direction. Ironically, this kind of self-assurance is what women are most drawn to. When you show that you're unaffected by her opinion and that you don't need her validation to feel complete, she feels your strength. Women respect men who lead, not those who ask for permission to be themselves. Seeking validation turns the dynamic upside down. It makes her the prize and you the chaser. That imbalance will always lead to disrespect, loss of attraction, and eventually disinterest. Instead, stand firm in your values, make decisions without hesitation, and never let her become the judge of your worth. You're not trying to win her over like a contestant. You're offering her the chance to be part of your world. And if she doesn't see your value, that's her loss, not yours. 3. Don't compliment a woman you don't know. Compliments are powerful, but only when they're rare and earned. The average woman today gets flooded with compliments every day, both online and in real life. You're so beautiful. You're stunning. You're a queen. It's constant. So when you, a man she doesn't even know, offer another generic compliment, guess what? You just blend in with the crowd. You become another background noise in her echo chamber of validation. Instead, hold back your praise. Don't give away your words for free. Because a real high-value man doesn't compliment a woman simply because she exists. He observes, he evaluates, and if she shows qualities beyond her looks, like intelligence, kindness, integrity, or effort, only then does he acknowledge it. Your words should feel like currency, not confetti. This scarcity makes them more meaningful. When you withhold unearned validation, something interesting happens. She starts working for it. She wonders what you think of her. She becomes more invested in earning your respect, which is far more powerful than seeking your attention. Complimenting a woman too soon can create an imbalance where she feels superior and you look like just another guy vying for her attention. So be different. Let your silence speak. Let your standards be known. And when you do finally give a compliment, make sure it carries weight. It should make her pause, think, and feel genuinely seen. That's how you separate yourself from the rest. 4. Prioritize your goals above hers. A man without goals is like a ship without a compass, drifting aimlessly and easy to sink. If you want to keep a woman's ego in check, you must always prioritize your own mission first. Too many men abandon their ambitions the moment an attractive woman shows them attention. They cancel plans, skip workouts, delay projects, all to chase a relationship. This not only weakens you, but it sends a message. Her time is more important than your purpose. High value men live with direction. They know their goals are non negotiable. They don't postpone their progress to gain someone's affection. Ironically, when you're deeply focused on your path, women become more attracted to you. Why? Because they see you're not easily swayed. You have something bigger than them, and that earns their respect. It doesn't mean you ignore her or treat her like she doesn't matter. It means you place your ambition at the top of your priority list. She can join your journey, but she doesn't define it. A man who makes his mission the center of his life naturally commands authority and admiration. In the early stages of dating, this is even more critical. You're setting the tone. If she sees that you'll abandon your schedule just to be with her, her ego inflates and your value drops. But if she sees that your goals come first, she'll either step up and respect your grind or move on. Either way, you win. 5. Never argue or let her provoke you. Emotional control is one of a man's most powerful weapons. When a woman realizes she can provoke you, make you jealous, angry, or reactive, she gains control of the situation. Suddenly, she's not looking at you as a grounded leader, but as someone she can manipulate. Arguing with a woman is a lose-lose situation. No matter how logical your points are, the moment you engage emotionally, you've already surrendered your power. You have to understand, women test, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. They push buttons to see what you're made of. If you explode, plead, or overreact, she sees you as emotionally unstable, and her respect for you drops. The best response? Detachment. When she tries to bait you into an argument or drama, don't take the bait. Don't yell, don't chase, and don't explain endlessly. Just withdraw your attention. This sends a clear message. You won't tolerate chaos. Attention is your most valuable asset. When you pull it away, you create scarcity. It forces her to reflect on her behavior without rewarding it. Mature, confident men know that silence speaks louder than shouting. Walk away, protect your peace, and let her chase your calm rather than feed off your chaos. By mastering emotional control, you shift the dynamic. You become the one who leads the interaction, not the one being dragged into it. 6. Don't be jealous. If your woman is attractive, men will approach her. That's reality. But how you respond to those moments says everything about your value. Showing jealousy, especially in public, screams insecurity. It tells her and everyone around that you don't feel confident in your place in her life, and that's a huge red flag. A high value man knows that loyalty can't be forced, it must be given freely. So when another man tries to flirt or make a move, your job isn't to fight or get emotional, it's to observe. Watch how she reacts. If she respects you, she'll shut it down immediately. If she entertains it or plays along, that's a red flag, not on him, but on her. You see, a strong man doesn't try to cage a woman. He lets her roam because he knows he's the king, and if she acts like anything less than a loyal queen, she's not worth his throne. Reacting with jealousy makes you look weak. Responding with composure makes you look powerful. This approach also forces her to check her own behavior. If she's acting inappropriately and you respond with calm distance instead of a dramatic scene, it triggers introspection. She starts wondering if she's about to lose a man of real value, and that fear is far more powerful than a shouting match. Stay calm, stay focused, and remember, her loyalty is her responsibility, not your demand. 7. Don't fear rejecting women. Most men bend over backward to avoid rejecting women. They don't want to seem rude, mean, or harsh, but here's the problem. Women are used to getting their way with men. They rarely hear no. And because of that, many develop a sense of entitlement. That entitlement turns into ego, and once it inflates, it's hard to manage. One of the most powerful things a man can do is say no, whether it's turning down a date, declining bad behavior, or refusing to lower your standards, you need to be willing to reject. And not in a cruel way, but with clarity and confidence. When you reject a woman, you remind her that not all men are desperate for attention. You remind her that your time, energy, and presence are earned, not freely given. Women secretly admire men who hold them accountable. It may sting in the moment, but it plants a seed of respect. You're showing her that you don't tolerate disrespect, you don't negotiate your values, and you're not afraid to walk away. If more men had the courage to reject poor behavior, more women would self-correct. You're not punishing her, you're grounding her in reality. And that's something she rarely experiences in today's world. So don't fear rejection. Embrace it. Use it to maintain your standards, assert your boundaries, and remind her that not every man is desperate to please. In today's world, where many men are bending over backward to win women's attention, the truth is, respect, desire, and admiration come to those who don't chase it. You keep a woman's ego in check not by playing games, but by mastering yourself. That means owning your purpose, keeping your emotions in control, and never compromising your self-worth for validation or approval. You don't need to flatter a stranger to be noticed. You don't need to argue to be heard. And you certainly don't need to tolerate behavior that disrespects your value. The moment you start treating your attention as a gift, your presence as a standard, and your time as sacred, everything changes. You go from being just another guy to a man she has to rise to meet. These 7 principles aren't about controlling women. They're about controlling yourself. And when you do that, you naturally earn respect without asking for it. So don't fear walking away. Don't fear being different. And don't fear setting a standard that most won't meet. Because a man who holds the line, stays focused on his mission, and keeps his emotions in check is the kind of man women never forget. Stay grounded, stay stoic, and remember, you are the prize.